Younger me, you have spent your whole life trying to be the right kind of person. The kind who fits in. The kind who is respected. The kind who makes people proud. And for years you have convinced yourself that this is who you really are. That this version of you, the one the world sees, is the only one that exists. But I need you to listen carefully now. Because Carl Jung is here to tell you the truth. You are not just the person you show the world. You are also everything you have hidden away. The doubts, the anger, the secret ambitions you were too afraid to chase. The sadness you swallowed and told yourself wasn't real. These things didn't disappear. They became your shadow. And as long as you refuse to see it, it will control you. Jung spent his life studying why people lose themselves, and he found that most of us are living as half a person. We wear masks. We play roles. We become whatever we need to be to feel safe. And for a while, younger me, it works. But then something happens. A crack appears. The mask begins to slip. You start to realize that the life you built isn't enough. Not because it was bad, but because it was incomplete. Midlife is when the shadow comes calling. And it does not ask for permission. It forces you to look at yourself, and not the version you carefully constructed, but the person you really are. And that, younger me, is terrifying. Because to accept yourself fully means facing the parts of you that you don't like. So what happens if you don't? What if you ignore the shadow and pretend it isn't there? That's when it begins to rule you from the dark. It twists your desires into addictions. It turns your unspoken fears into anger at the world. It makes you resent others for the very things you refuse to see in yourself. This is why so many people in midlife feel lost, bitter, or restless. They are fighting an enemy that is inside them. But here's the secret Jung wanted you to know. The shadow is not your enemy. It is your missing half. And if you have the courage to turn toward it instead of running away, you will find that everything you've been looking for was hidden there all along. So how do you integrate it? It begins with honesty. Stop filtering your thoughts to be acceptable. Notice what triggers you in others, because those are often the parts of yourself you have buried. Write down the things you avoid thinking about. Face them, question them, understand them, and slowly you will start to feel whole. Jung once said the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely, but it is also the most liberating. Because the moment you stop fighting yourself, you realize you were never broken. You were simply unfinished. And now, at last, you have the chance to become whole.